Hello, I'm Andy Birchall. Just a little bit about myself. I'm from a branch in Wigan, Unite the Union branch in Wigan, 5-4 branch for those that know of the structures of the trade union movement. What we're doing at the moment, we're involved in a national NHS campaign day, and we're organising a demonstration in Leigh. Or a gathering or event, whichever we want to call it. We have to be careful with the police these days and the bill going through Parliament that may suppress what we're trying to do in Leigh. Well, that's for another day. What we're trying to do in Leigh is on the 26th of February, we're meeting at 11 AM on Spinning Jenny Way for a couple of hours, just to beat our drums, blow our whistles, and we have the banners. Hands off our NHS. The government at the moment, and a lot of people know this, but they've been doing it since 2012 with the Health and Social Care Bill. They're privatising our NHS by stealth, and there's a bill going through Parliament at the moment that'll help this along the way. It's the latest phase of the privatisation. It's another reorganisation that basically puts the private sector right at the heart of our NHS. And you won't notice this when you go to the GP, because most people think, well, I'm not paying for my care. But what's going on behind the scenes is more private providers are providing our care, which means they're taking profits out of our NHS. Now, you don't have to be, have a degree in economics to understand that if profits taken out of our NHS, it's money that could be spent elsewhere on wages, on investment in buildings and equipment. And so there'll come a day when the government says there's no more money. And when that day comes, we'll end up having to pay for our healthcare. And the two ways that we pay for our healthcare are either through private insurance or direct payment. So if you've got equity in your home or you've got a credit card, they'll be asking you, can you afford this treatment? And if not, you may not be able to have access to it. It is going on in other parts of the country. There are things going on with GPs at the moment, where GPs are actually being bought out by private corporations. And once these private corporations get hold of the referral lists, then you don't again they'll be referring people to their own hospitals rather than our NHS. So we're reaching a fundamental stage where when this next reorganisation goes through, the private sector will have a role in commissioning. They'll be sat round the table spending our money and deciding where to spend our money. And so it looks like they'll be making decisions to spend more money on private provision within our NHS. And we're reaching a critical stage that we need to say to this government, stop doing this. And we need to say to other politicians like the Labour Party, when you get in power, we insist that our NHS is owned, is publicly funded, publicly owned and publicly controlled. That's more democratic accountability by the communities that they serve. Because over the past 40 years or more, we've seen the welfare state being chipped away, and the only real aspect of the welfare state we have access to is our health service. It's the last pillar, as it were, and once that's gone, the market has completely taken over our lives. And so it is critical. It is SOS NHS. This campaign won't be over on the Saturday the 26th of February. It'll be the start, and we need to campaign to protect, save and really fight like hell for our NHS. I mean, the only thing I can say to people is, have you ever used the NHS? If the answer to that is yes, if you think you're going to need the NHS in the future, that's you and your family, and the answer to that is yes. And the NHS belongs to each and every one of us without exception. Then I'm asking you to help us and join in and campaign for our NHS. Look what we've just been through, the pandemic, the heroes that have got us through this pandemic, these doctors, these nurses, that have gone in and risked their own lives. Some of them have died. And while they've been doing that, the government's been planning to privatise our NHS, to privatise their jobs, and then one day we'll have to pay for access to healthcare. And so please, it sounds a bit alarmist, but they're not doing it in one push. They're doing it by stealth, department by department, service by service. And so one day, and it'll be one day soon, within the next 5 years, you'll be turning up to your GP and be saying, that used to be provided on the NHS, but it no longer is, and these are your options. So it may sound like I'm scaremongering. I'm not. So join us in Lee, Spinning Jenny Way, at 11 a.m. on February the 26th, Saturday, February 26th. Thank you.